Bhairaja Pandey sir, welcome to the Gorkha Spirit.
Thank you very much, Bhai.
How is our geopolitical scenario you have seen at this time?
Our geopolitical scenario is very fragile and needs to be handled carefully. We have China in the north, that is a rising economy and rising world power. We have India in the south, which is also a rising power, economic power, and a military power. Then we have the Americans who are interested in Nepal. They are interested because of our proximity to China. They want to monitor China from Nepal. So they have their interest here. And the Europeans. Europeans have a side interest in Nepal for different regions, also including religious aspects, I understand. So there are various interests here, but mainly our geopolitical situation is between India and China, and we need to balance the two. We need to go in a way that we don't upset one against the other, and it's a tricky situation.
So have you seen the balance between our neighbors?
We seem to not do that very well. We sometimes seem to turn to China, sometimes to India, and want to counterbalance. Instead of that, we need to have faith that the Chinese trust us and Indians trust us. It has to be mutually trustful relationship, not a relationship that we turn to whenever we are upset with India, we go to China. When we are upset with China, we go to India. That's the wrong way of doing things. Both countries must be equidistant from us and must respect us. We must have proper agreement with both the countries. They must understand our position. India must understand and China must understand. At the moment, I don't think we have made it clear what are our ground rules for relationship with India and what are our ground rules for relationship with China. So there is a little bit of confusion, and that needs to be redressed.
We often heard some leaders use China cards, some use leaders Indian cards. What is that card actually?
That is a card of mismanagement. You don't need to play one against the other. We need to remain equidistant from both, and we need to be able to manage our own affairs. When we are in trouble, we go into this kind of negative, that's a negative diplomacy, India card and a China card. We need to have our stable set of rules and guiding principles, and both nations must understand that Nepal will not deviate from these standards. So there is no question of playing one card against the other. It's a very silly notion, that whole thing.
So our neighbors' policy is against our interest. Often we heard from the leaders. So do you think this is it true?
It is not true. Why will our neighbors want to have policy against us unless we have made the mistake? We are the ones that make mistakes and we blame our neighbors. We have self-examine first. We have to examine ourselves. Where did we miscommunicate? Where did we behave like someone who is persecuted? We have to behave with our neighbors as equals. We have to treat them with respect and demand respect in return. But here what we are turning to blaming. We say Chinese did this, Americans did this, Indians did this. This is nonsense. This is pure incompetence. Whenever somebody talks like that, please understand that he is coming from an angle that is of total incompetence.
So as Chinese leaders, especially the President Xi Jinping, want the Nepali leaders, if they go against the one China policy, he will break the bones in the program in our country. And like that, Indian leaders also threatened us repeatedly. So we couldn't balance our diplomatic relation.
Who are they to threaten us? They will break our bones, we will also break their bones. If we are a country, we'll say, okay, try it. We cannot be threatened by either India or by China. We have to say, treat us with respect, and we'll treat you with respect. But for that, we must have our ground policies clear. We must communicate to them, saying these are our ground realities, these are the rules of the game, and you cannot violate these rules of the game. Then we are friends. So let them try to do that. And if we are a nation, then we should be able to fight for our principles and what we stand for.
Our neighbors humiliate us, insult us, and we couldn't do anything because India and China both suppressed our country. So our leaders couldn't reply them.
I cannot recall why they would do that. I cannot recall why India or China would repress us. There is no benefit for China or India to repress Nepal. Nepal is an independent country. They would like a neighbor, ideally, that is doing well economically and financially, that has a good standing in the world, that is helpful to India and to China on equal basis. Why should they be threatening us? Whenever they have threatened us, it's because of the mistakes we have made.
Some time ago, Nepalese people shared the videos in, I think, Donald Trump and Zelensky's, that conversation. So our leaders is like the Zelensky in front of the China and India. We just correlate that video with our leaders. So why the powerful country suppressed, insult, dominate the small, poor countries' leaders? Actually,
it's because we are small and poor. We need to get hold of our economy. Singapore is also small, but does anyone misbehave with Singapore? They don't, because that is a country which is well managed by its own people. The way we get ill-treated is because we are not able to manage our own selves. We cannot manage our economy, we cannot manage our border, we cannot manage our population. Then of course everyone will ill-treat you. If you are incompetent, you deserve to be ill-treated. What you need to demonstrate to the world is that you are a competent nation. You can run the country yourself. You are enlightened leadership in your country. Then people will begin to respect.
Geopolitics of our country is a blessing or is a curse for us actually?
It's a blessing.
So
Absolutely a blessing, because all we need to do is to be a transit between India and China, and that money will suffice to run our country. We haven't been able to do that. All we need to do is to produce hydroelectricity and sell it to everyone. That is enough. And all we need to do be a transit, and then we have to invite investors from India and China to come and invest in Nepal, create favorable climate for them to take their money back and do what Singapore is doing. What does Singapore have? Nothing. Still it is one of the richest countries in the world. We could do that. All they do is they get people to invest, and they manage it. They manage the country well. That's all we need to do. We need to manage our country.
So why our leaders couldn't do that?
It's because we don't have a culture of leadership here. That needs to change.
What's your suggestions to our leaders?
The leaders is this. The older generation need to create space for new generation of leaders to come, number one. Number two, we have to create a system that is different. System that will promote meritocracy. Our system at the moment does not promote meritocracy. It promotes people who have money and power and who do illegitimate things. This is what it does. We have to take that system out. We have to select a system. We have to have a system where our ministers will have to pass an exam to become a minister. Our prime minister will have to pass an exam. All the ministers will have to pass an exam to show that they have the expertise or the qualification to become a minister. Every head of government, every bureaucrat must pass an exam to demonstrate that they are competent. And if we get competent people to rule the country, our country will change. Our face of our country will change. As long as we have incompetent people running this country, dishonest, incompetent, and impractical people running the country, this situation is going to continue.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for joining with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.